Well, welcome folks, back again. So today's venture, fishing for bream, black bream that is. So looking forward to it. I had to take a day off work with this weather, absolutely cracking. Even if I pan round, the sun's coming up in the distance. Beautiful, absolutely lovely at the moment. Just waiting for the tide to turn up. And then I should be out round about 10 o'clock and coming back around about 10 o'clock tonight. And yeah, so target bream to today. Just running ledger rigs, which I'll show you a bit later on. And yeah, can't wait, absolutely can't wait. One thing I've got to do is clean out the cool box. Someone didn't quite clean out the cool box like you should have done. So it is now getting cleaned and drying, ready for today's session. It was humming, absolutely humming. So there's nothing worse than that, is there? Humming cool box. So hopefully we'll get some fish today to put in that cool box. And yeah, brilliant stuff, can't wait. Well, welcome back. So I'll just show you how I tie my rigs. So it's a running ledger with a 2-hook flyer, basically, if that's what you call it. So I use 30-pound amnesia for the main body, 20-pound line for the trace, and I'm going to use a rotten bottoms rig on this as well, because where I am, it's going to be fishing, it's very corally, rocky, and your lead does tend to get stuck quite often. So I just use an 8-pound rotten bottom line, just so that it breaks nice and freely if I do get the leads stuck. So 30-pound line as a body, excuse me, about 2 foot, something like that, 2.5 foot, that's what I normally use, something like that. Just clip that off. So I've got some really fine small swivels here. I don't use nothing big, smaller the better. So all I do is straight through the eyelet of the swivel, and I'll just do 5 turns and back through the loop. Nothing fang-dangly. That's what I've always done. So that's what I always do. I'm sorry if I'm shaking, but that's what I do. I shake. That's why I'm called Shaky Angler, by the way. I shake like a devil on my hands. So a bit of gob, just ease it up. Give it another bit if you need to, and just nurse it up with your nails, just so it snugs up tight. So it's all nice and tight, and all good. Then on goes a bead. Sorry. Yeah, so on goes a bead, and I can see the eye. Right. Then another little swivel straight through, then another little swivel at the other end. So that now is the main rig body after you tie this up, and I'll just make the rotten bottom rig part of it next. So 5 turns again, back through the eyelet, bit of gob, and just ease it up. So that's that done. So there it is, swivel, main body, swivel, bead, swivel. So it can run up and down nice and freely, like that. So I only use 8-pound to 10-pound line for the rock bottom style of setup. Obviously the main body line's going to be 30, the trace is going to be 20. On my actual main line, I'm using 30-pound braids. So this 8-pound line, in theory, should give before anything else does. So again, through the eyelet of the swivel, and just a normal turn round 5 times, and back through the eye, and pull up snug. Okay, that's that done. Now it all depends how long you want your rotten bottom set up. I mean, I normally do probably about 8 to 10 inches, somewhere around that. So I'm just using a little clip-on clip like that. I'm not using anything else than that. Something that's nice and cheap and easy, if you don't mind losing. I mean, you could, in theory, tie that directly to the lead, so you don't have to have another swivel clip or anything like that. But I find that the eyelet of the lead tends to wear the line out quick, and you end up losing it anyway. So I don't do that. I just put a cheap old clip on. Again, snug up. So I'll just clip all the ends off, tied it all up. Probably should put my glasses on really, but there we go. So there it is. Running ledger, rotten bottom to your lead. So if it does get stuck like that, at least you only lose this part of the line and you get all your trace and your body back, and it's just a matter of retying a new lead on. Okay. So that is that. Now, entirely up to you what you want to use. I normally use probably around about 3.5 foot, 3 foot, something like that on the trace line. So there's 20 pound amnesia. So what I do is I do this round in a loop, back through the loop you just made, and back through the loop again. Now there is different variants of this, which you can see on other YouTube channels. Bit of gob. Pull that up, snug that up tight, and then you're left with that. So you got a loop, the end of the line this end, and end of the line that end, sort of thing. So that is going to be my trace, and I'm going to have 2 hooks off this. So I'll just clip the loop away. So now I'm left with that. 2 lines that I'm going to use for putting hooks on. So hook wise, I'm just using very small size 6s. Quite a decent sort of hook. I can't remember the brand. I got it off eBay, and they work for me. So again, put it on one of your trace lines. Make sure one of these lines is shorter than the others so that the hooks don't come together and tangle up. And then again, just 5 turns and then back through the loop. Bit of gob just to lubricate it, snug it up, and that's that one done. Now, as you can, I don't know if you can see this, but this is probably only about 4 or 5 inches, something like that, and this one is probably about 7 or 8, just there on the bottom. So one's longer than the other, that's the main thing, so the hooks don't tangle up together. So I'm just putting the other hook on. And there we go. So that's how I use my Bream rig, like that. So 2 hooks, and then I'll attach that to the main body where the bead end, where the bead lays to the swivel. So you got it the right way. There we go. 5 turns again. So I just clip all this tag ends off, and we tied it all up on the hooks. So there we go, running ledger, bottom part of it, trace, 2 hooks, making sure that one is longer than the other so they don't tangle up, and that's how I use it for breaming, and it works for me, this. And a top tip from when you're breaming, and it does work in other fish as well actually, is when I'm breaming and and you know the breamer around and you're just not getting the bites, what I'll do is I'll bounce the lead like that, tap the lead several times and let it lie. Nothing happens, tap the lead again, and I've had many bites like that. Tapping that lead creates vibration, and the fish, for some reason, they get attracted to that vibration. They obviously think there's food or something's going on, and they're inquisitive, and they just go to it. I've had many a fish on bream like that, and when it's all gone dormant, give it a tap, and then suddenly, within sort of several minutes, bosh, you're getting another few bites in, sort of thing. I know it's probably not the time to say this, but when you go away on holiday abroad or anything like that, something nice, and I'm sure it's going to be a few years away, but anyway, let's not get into that. Go snorkeling in a corally sort of area, grab a stone or anything like that, and if there's rocks, and tap it on the coral rocks, and you see what happens. Quite often not, you'll see little fish, they come straight to it, and then they go away, and then give it a tap like that again, and they come again. And I've found this out when I was in Greece many years ago. A diver, we went scuba diving there, sort of thing. The diver showed us it, and I thought, I wonder if that'll work for us back home, sort of thing. And yeah, it does. It works. Definitely works. So that's what I do. That's what I do now. I use it all the time. If it's going a bit dormant, try the old knocking techniques and see what happens. Hopefully it worked for you, but it certainly works for me where I am. So we're going today a little place near Selsey. It's we call it we call it the teardrop actually. So on the chart it looks like a teardrop, and it's not far from, say, Selsey. The current is going to be about a 5 metre tide a day, so it's quite strong, so I have to be fairly inshore, fishing around about the 30-foot water mark, something like that. Slack tide, or just before the slack tide, I may go out to a place called the Boulder, which is pretty much running out from the tip of Selsey Bill, and again it's a coral sort of reef. Goes from a 60-foot drop up to around about the 20-foot at the top of the peak, and then back down the other side. But we'll see how it goes, see how the fishing turns out first, where we're going to go. High tide is 12 o'clock. I'm not be able to get off this pontoon until round about 10, so I've got about another hour and a half, something like that, to wait here. But I've got plenty to do and prep ready for. Probably cut some squid up now into strips while I'm waiting, so me doing it when I'm out there. And yeah, so black bream, here we come. Well, we've arrived, we're here. Look at that sea. How gorgeous is that sea? So, got one rod in the water at the moment. So I've just got a single hook on that one, small sliver of squid. So, let's get the second one baited up with the double hook. So, small sliver of squid, just that sort of size really, about the size of your finger, something like that. And all I do, just thread it on, in and out over the hook, and just leave a little tag end on the squid sort of thing, so the old bream can get hold of it sort of thing. And yeah, so it flaps around a bit as well. So just like that, flaps around. Hey, look at that. And I might put, no, I'll tell you what, I was going to put a squid head on, but I won't. I won't put a squid on yet. I'll see what happens first. I'll sometimes put squid heads on to tempt the bigger fish, bigger bream, but let's see what goes on first and go from there. So, 2 ounce lead, that's all I'm going to use. See how we get on. It's not too bad the tide at the moment down here, but if it does pick up a little bit, then I'll shore up the lead, because the last thing I want is the lead moving around too much, because I'm more likely to get a snag if it's sort of going round and about the boat. Just wash my hands. I've got a little tub there that I'll wash my hands just to try and keep the boat clean inside, because as we say, we do go away in this boat as well, weekends, bit of camping and the rest of it, so I try to keep it up together. And God forbid if this boat smells like fish when the missus got on board, I am in there. Bleep! Yes. So, I said, rock bottom, squid, 2 lots, in it's going. I'm going to just cast a gentle one on this one up. There, one's at the back of the boat, cast this one out at the back of the boat, see if I can tempt one of those breams that may be in different locations, and that way you can find out where they are at the moment. There's quite a few boats here today, and it's been really difficult to get on the marks I wanted, really, which is a shame really. I'm a little bit over the hump with all the coral I wanted to be at, so, but the boat will swing round in time, so hopefully in that time I'll have a few fish anyway. But when the tide turns a bit, I will be on the mark I want to be on anyway, so I'm not too worried at this stage. But we're in. Let's bag a bream. Come on. Well, I'm into my first one. First fish of the day. Got a nice little bend in the rod. I don't think it's a bream though. It's not going like a bream, to be fair. But let's see what it is. I reckon it's a dog. Yeah, there it is. A good old dogfish. Always spun my trace up a treat here. God, Jesus, he has spun my trace up. Only a small one, but nevertheless, it's a fish. Beat the blank, that's the main thing. And hopefully, he just wants to curl up like a ball. There we go. Let's get him back in. Well, I've been here about an hour now, and just the one dog and a couple of nibbles, but it's very nice to see a couple of porpoises around you sort of thing, but not while you're fishing. There's a couple of porpoises circling around the fleet of boats that are around here. That's going to kill the fishing, no end, that is. So hopefully they'll do one in a bit and go somewhere else. But if I can get it on picture, or film I should say, with the porpoises around, then I will, but I can't guarantee. It's very hard to get hold of them. They're literally up and down and they're gone sort of thing, but they are around the fleet. It may kill the fishing a little bit, but anyway, fingers crossed. Keep with it. Well, I've had a little bit of a move, and about a quarter of a mile away, I suppose, something like that, from where I was, just to see if I can get anything going on. It seems to be a little bit dead round here. A lot of boats that were here earlier on, and they're all shot off sort of thing, so clearly everyone else is having the same sort of trouble. Not too great at the moment. I did get my anchor just stuck. It was been a bit of a nightmare. I don't down buoy my anchor. I just got a winch, so it's not too bad. But yeah, it's quite well stuck. So all you do when you get that scenario, tie it off on the cleat. Don't use the winch. Tie it off on the cleat, and all you do is get as fairly as tight as you can, depending on the swell. Don't get it too tight if you've got a load of swell, because you'll impact the chain and the cleat and all the rest of it. And all you do, tie it off, and it just put the boat in gear. Just give it a little nudge every now and then, just nudge it, sort of thing. Nice and easy, nothing too outrageous on the throttle, just a little bump, and normally that breaks it out. It took me about 5 or 6 attempts of bumping it, and it finally broke free. I had my anchor tripped anyway, but obviously it didn't want to come out either with the trip, sort of thing. But finally I got it loose and retrieved it. No damage to the anchor, chain or boat, which is definitely what you want, sort of thing. So never go too mad when you've got your anchors stuck in the ground, sort of thing. Just give it a little bump here and there. It'll come out generally as a rule. Anyway, back to the fishing. We're out, we've had the porpoises, now we've got a seal here. So is that good news that there's fish around, or is that bad news? But if there's seal around, again, it ain't going to do too well on the fishing. It's gone now, the seal, but hopefully it'll pop up in a minute. I don't know if you can see that in the distance, the splashing, but that's the seal chasing garfish. I've already seen one of its in its mouth, sort of thing. So it's clearly chasing the garfish around here, the seals. Well, new location. We've made a move. We've come out to the boulder bank now. The tide's going to be slackening off within the next sort of half an hour to 3/4 an hour, something around that, I suppose. Wasn't happening really where I was. I'm not surprised with the porpoises and the seals around. So I'm out on the boulder. Hopefully we're going to have trumps today, sort of thing, you know. Hopefully it's going to happen. Hopefully we get that bream. Anyway, wish me luck. Well, we've got a fish on, but it's not a bream. But it's putting a hell of a bend in the rod, that's for sure. I'm thinking it's a smoothhound. Oh no, it's a doggy. Well, that made a good count for itself, and nevertheless. So another doggy, not quite what we're after yet, but here do. Let's give him back. Yeah, he's gone back, he's all right, he's all good. Let's get this all baited back up again and get out there. This is going to be the time, I reckon, when the old tide starts to ease down, and hopefully the bites will start. I'm currently on 6 ounces of lead weight at the moment. A bit more heavy than I really like, really, to be honest with you, but we will be coming down in size shortly, which makes it a bit more pleasurable playing the fish, obviously. So yeah, let's hope it all begins. I'm just giving it a bit of a bump around, just see if I can tempt any of those bream around. Well, we're getting a few bites, but it's one of these. Good old smoothhound, about 4 or 5 pound, that's all. But good to see, but still not our target species at the moment. But we're getting a few bites, that's good news. Let's get it back. Yeah, she's flown back, absolutely flown back. Right, come on bream. It's gone mental here, it's absolutely going mental here. I've got one rod out and I had another bite straight away. Absolutely mental, it's gone. It's no good. I've got no rods in the water at the moment. There's a doggy, this one. The old tide's starting to slack down, so I think the old bites are starting to happen now. Get it T-barred off. Another doggy. Whee! Let's get it back in. Let's get a rod in the water. God dear, what's ever going on? What's ever going on? No good. Hey, we finally got one. We've got a bream. It's about 3/4 pound. Give a good count for itself. Absolutely fantastic. So look at the lovely colours on that. Oh, Mediterranean, isn't it? Look at it. So I'm going to get it back in. Not quite for size for me, but I'm going to get it back in. Accomplished. Hey! Hopefully the bites are really going to start on the bream now. Can't wait. This is going to be the action. I feel it. I feel it. Tide's really slackening off now. Looks like this could be the time. I'll get back to it. Well, the rod just took off like a steam train. Absolute steam train it did. I got something decent on the old bend on there. It's unreal. Absolutely unreal. I reckon it's another smoothie, I reckon. It's giving me some grief here. I've only got like gear, but it's giving me some grief. Oh yes. Still can't see it. Oh, lovely undulate ray we've got. Absolute cracking undulate ray. Let's get that net in. Oh yes. Very nice. I've only got small work, so I have to be careful here. We've got it. It's in the net. Let's get her in the boat. Oh, Jesus. I'm surprised I got that one in, to be honest. The hooks are so small. I'm surprised it even managed to get into it. But we're in. Right, let's get this under the net. Whoa. Crikey, that's a beaut, that is, an absolute beaut. Let's get the hook out of it and then we'll give you a show. Right, okay. Look at the size of that. Very nice too. Beautiful. Right, I'm just going to go give it away and see what goes at. Just over £9.5 it went, that undulate in the end. So yeah, that give a good count for itself on that small rod. Surprised it got it in, to be honest here. But hey oh, hooray. Would be nice to have a few more bream though, it really would. Look at that. Nice undulate ray again. This one just under the 12. Absolute mental it was on the rod. Absolute mental. I want to get this back though. I want to get it back. Absolute mental on bream gear. It really is. How I'll get them in, I don't know. It's really crazy. The rod is doubled over. Playing it in. Absolutely crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But I'm still trying to get those bream. It's got to turn up, surely. Got to turn up. Anyway, let's carry on. Every now and again, when you go fishing, something turns up you're just not expecting. You don't associate the bait too much with what you're going to caught or catch or whatever. Anyway, it's turned up a plaice. Now, I wasn't expecting to catch a plaice today on just squid. I don't think I've ever caught a plaice on just squid. Ragworm and a little bit of tipped squid, but there we are. That was a surprise. Nice and fat and all. Really fat. Yeah, jam-packed it is. Yeah, that's about £1.5, somewhere around that, I suppose. Anyway, I'm going to have that for tea, that one. So that's going in the old dice box. Now we've got a tope. Just a small one. Let's get him back. Well, he's just going mental here at the moment. Just Tope, dogs, smoothhounds, Plaice. Now another bream's turned up. Great stuff. Only very small. I'm going to put it back. I can't wait to get back in there. This rod here is going absolute nuts. The bend in it is unreal. Look at the bend on it. There's something decent on here. It's either a decent smoothhound or a Tope. It has been going nuts. I reckon I'm going to struggle to get this in, to be honest, yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. I've got the drag set nice and low. We'll see what happens. It's coming, but mate, there's some weight behind that. I don't want to bully it. Oh, mate. It's coming. It's not giving much of a fight now. Oh, there we are. It's just woke up. It's coming towards me a little bit now. It's gonna dive. I know it's gonna dive in a minute. It's decent, whatever it is. Is that 20-pound line gonna hold out? I don't know. I'm not convinced at the moment. Not when it sees a bit of daylight, this fish. Crikey me. It's going along the side of the boat now. So it's trying to swim up tide. I'll have a look at it and then I'll go for the net. But yeah, it's a decent smoothhound. Decent smoothhound. Let's get the net. I don't want to bully this too much, but it is half difficult sometimes on your own, especially when you've got a bit of tide running. There we go, we got it. Let's get it out. Oh, we've got a bit of a tangle on here. There we go. Right in the scissor. A lovely starry hound. Absolute cracker. That's giving me some jip, that one, I'll tell you. Oh, I didn't think I was getting that one in, I really didn't. Let me get this back in soon as. Well, the bream bites are starting to show now. It's starting to happen a little bit for the old bream bites. Getting a few nips and naps here, sort of thing, where they're nibbling away, sort of thing. So, which is great. And this little one keeps jumping out my hands. So, there we are. Not the biggest of bream, but nevertheless, it's a bream. They're coming up about the same sort of stamp of size at the moment. Looking for that nice sort of 2-pounder would be very nice, but nevertheless, getting a few nibbles now on the old bream bite, so that's a good sign. I'll get it back. Well, yeah, they're coming in thick and fast now. That's about a pound, some of that. I'm keeping that for a bit of dinner, that is. I do like a little bit of bream, so there we go. It's starting to change colour now. It's starting to go a bit darker. It was quite a lot bluey when I first caught it and got it alongside the boat, sort of thing. So yeah, it's starting to go and turn its colours. So yeah, bream in, thank God, we got bream in. Well, it's come to that time of day. I'm going to knock it on the head. The current's starting to pick up quite a bit. The bites have died right off, and I feel like I've had an absolute cracking day. Absolute cracking day. One of those days it just goes mental at times. Absolutely mental. The start of the day is very slow. Wasn't looking too clever at all. A few moves here and there, and yeah, produce. So smoothhounds, the Tope, Bream is what we come for. Plaice, wasn't expecting a Plaice at all. Just never thought of that. Dogfish. Yeah, that's it. So unbelievable cracking day. Bites galore. It went nuts, as I said. You know, it's one of those ones when sometimes you've got to maybe put a rod away. You just can't keep up with it. It is crazy. But I don't know. Mad, absolute mad day. The sun's starting to go down now, so I think it's time for me to go home. Hope you liked it. Hopefully some more bream sessions to come, and smoothhounds and all sorts of other different sessions. If you like it, give it the old like button a hit. Please subscribe, and there'll be plenty more to come.